What's going on, MV Nation? This your boy, the Madman. Yeah, I'm off work today, so I figure I'd do a little education lesson. Or, something for beginners. People that, they don't really know where to start, Um, some of y'all, most of y'all know pretty much everything I'm going to talk about, but, there was a time a long time ago when I ain't no jack, so I just needed somebody to give me a jump start on, some ideas of doing different things. So that's what I'm gonna try to give y'all today. Me, pretty much I use my MV. I have a Phantom XR, got a turntable, and I use my computer. Before the MV and my MC909 and all the other hardware I got, I was stuck with the computer. The first thing that I was cheap enough for me to buy was like Fruityloops, so that's what I use. That's still my baby, but I use generally hardware now. But I still do use Fruityloops for certain functions because I can do things a lot quicker than that. But I utilize the MV's functions to accomplish, certain tasks, which I'll show you guys in a couple minutes. Let me get out of this. Pretty much anybody do music, you gotta have some inspiration. So you got a computer, keep a nice background up, keeps you going. Or what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open up Fruityloops, everybody's favorite program. Alright, so what I'm gonna do with this, I'm gonna do a beat from scratch for y'all. I don't even know how this is gonna sound, but I'm just gonna show y'all, a couple ideas, things that I do. If I don't have anything that's going on, I'm in my head, if I'm not sampling, I just do stuff from scratch. So if I want to get a generic sounding drum kit or whatever, I go into Fruityloops. I make it in Fruityloops because this is a lot easier than doing it in the MV for most people. You can use sample mix table, which is cool. I use that in the MV, but honestly, that took me, I had my MV for well over a year and a couple months, so I'm used to that. But a beginner may just be, they might just like the chop feature. So what you can do, you can put a kick, snare, hi-hat together, and Fruityloops bounce it out onto a floppy disk or USB it, and then chop it, and you can layer different sounds because you got everything in here. I'm gonna show you guys what I mean, and I'll be right back after I get this phone call. Alright, yeah, I'm back. Alright, so I'm gonna show y'all what I do at times. I got a couple samples in here. I think most of these genres come off Modern Beats. I don't know, I can't remember the website, but I don't know, my buddy gave these to me, so I'm gonna let y'all peep it. I'm gonna make a drum kit, but I'm gonna layer them so they don't sound like the regular ones. Let me zoom in so y'all get a better view of what's going on the screen and what I actually do. So it kind of sucks when you're on camera, man. But just to give y'all a rough idea, trying to get as much detail as I can for y'all. Alright, bet. So I'm zoomed in all crazy for y'all. So pretty much what I do, I usually just scroll through different sounds. Like that kick, you just drag and drop it in there. So I'm gonna do a basic kick, a snare, and a clap, and some percussion. Like that. You don't even gotta use hi-hats to be a hi-hat. You can use samples nowadays. Like that. You just drag and drop to a blank spot in Fruityloops to add another wave. Alright, let me get a clap in here. stick that one in there. I gotta get a snare. Alright, that's my kick. So I'm gonna get a snare that complement that. I got people signing in on the instant messenger making noise. I think I'm gonna turn that off. Give me a second. Alright, that's gone. I kinda like that snare. I'll leave that one. Alright, so I got that kick, that clap, that percussive type sound, that snare, and like that shaker or whatever the hell that is. That's kind of like a little weird sound right there. I think I'll add that to it too. So, you know, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sounds I'm gonna use for whatever track I'm gonna do. Now, one thing you can do, you can export all these files and you know, put them in a export them to a folder, and then you'll have all those files, and then you can just put them into the MV. You know, once you select your kit, you can do this to make kits or whatever, because, you know, Roland hasn't yet made an application that you can do on your computer where you can select sounds, create a MVO file, and put it, you know, into the MV yet. So I'm trying to think which way I want to do this. I don't feel like, what you can do, you can make a pattern, export it as a wave in Fruityloops, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to bounce out all these sounds the way they are. Actually, no, I'm not, because I said I was going to layer some stuff. So what I'm going to do, alright, we got that one kick. I'm going to find another kick just to make it sound different. Oh wow. Hold on, let me just see how that. Let me turn down the volume on that first one. Alright, that's the second one. Both of them together. Alright, so I know that kick's layered, that snare, I don't know if I want to layer that. I'm gonna layer that snare. Put that snare with and add another snare in there. So alright, let me show y'all what I'm doing on this little sequence of Fruityloops, just so y'all can understand. I just put them both together kind of like a step over, just so that I can hear those two kicks at the same time. What I want to do now is hear those two snares and together. So that's the two snares together. If I take one off, which means solo one or whatever, that's the one, that's the other. But let's just say I had a little funny sound, I want to get more of that. So what I'll do, I normally turn down the main snare and then turn the other one up, so you get more of that crazy swishy type sound, whatever that is. And then these percussions, they can remain the same, but this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play the kick on a sequence. I'm gonna have the kick go, I'm gonna have the snare go, I'm gonna let clap go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hear that clap go. And those two percussive sounds I'm gonna put at the end. So if I play this on a pattern, it's gonna, well, you get the point. I'm gonna export that one wave file. And that's where the MP, I mean not the MP, the MV come into play. I'm talking about MP. I hate MPCs. But alright, here you go. So what you do in Fruity Loops, let me get this up here. You go to File, you go to Export, and then it says Export as a WAV file. You can do it as an MP3 file, whatever you want, but I do it as a WAV file because the MV picks up waves. So export as a WAV file, and at this point in time, you can save it to your computer if you want, or you can save it directly to the MV. So I'm gonna hit my MV and tell the go into USB mode, just so you know I can send this wave directly to the MV. Alright, so my MV is being seen by my computer now. Let's see, I got too many damn hard drives on here, so give me a second to find my MV. Here we go. MV is down here. And what I'll do, I got different folders on here, so I'm not putting in a user. You see these little blocks? Do not have Windows Media Player open while you're USB in the MV. It'll jack up your hard drive. I put a post up on MV Nation about that, but don't worry about it. I'm gonna go into this folder. I got sound kits, and I'm gonna save that wave loop. I'm gonna call it kit loop or something. I don't know, something stupid. So I'm gonna save that directly to a folder on my MV called sound kits. Alright, so I'm saving that directly to the MV as a wave file, and it'll render it when I hit start on this button down here. And you can apply effects to it if you want to within Fruity Loops just to give, you know, a different sound, but I'm not. I'm just going to kick it straight out. So I just saved that. So I'm going to get out of Fruity Loops now because I don't need to save I don't need to save that. If I wanted to, I can. But now we're back to Melissa Ford. But what I'll do, I'm going to set the camera and, you know, see the MV. Alright. So let's get to the MV now. Let me disconnect it from my computer first, just so we can do some work on the MV now. Alright, cool. I can disconnect it from here. Now on the MV, I'm using the VGA, so you know, same concept if you got the other, if you don't have the VGA, but just so y'all get the principles, let me zoom in on this so y'all can kind of see what I'm doing. Alright, what I do in the MV, you know, you go over here, go to import. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna import some sounds, and I don't even know where I put it now, but you know, I think I put it under sound kits. Yeah, and the name of that file was kit loop wave. So if I preview it, that wave I got is there. So I'm going slow just so people can follow me. You know, I'm going real slow actually. Usually this only takes me like a minute or two. But you gotta say I'm importing my sound, so I'll go to import. It'll pull it in. is there. What I'll do a quick assign. I'll assign it to a phrase pad because this is just how I like doing things. You can do chop right off the bat, but I'd rather have the wave on the pad just in case I want to tweak it or something like that. So I generally, you can do a chop right out and it'll automatically chop it for you, but I'm gonna assign it to a phrase first. So I'm gonna assign it to pad 16, you know, on my MV, which is on one. I already got some other crazy stuff on here, but I don't even know. But I'm gonna put it on 16. Now that wave file is on pad 16 under an audio track. So if I hit that, and that's, you know, that's on pad 16 on my MV, and right there, that's my MV. Got that all wired up. I got the monitor right there for it. So, alright. So now we're gonna do some work on chopping that particular wave file. This is probably gonna be a big Windows Media file when I finish with this, but sorry, I'm just trying to keep it for beginners. On the audio side of things, you know, I got one audio track up here, you know, so let me see if I can focus this a little bit better because it's hard to see. I think that's as good we're gonna get on this camera. Sorry, y'all. But anyway, to chop it, you know, most people know how to auto chop things now, but what you do on an MV, you hit the pad. You hit the pad on the freight. You hit the pad that you have your sound on, and then you hit the button that says Quick Edit. You hit Quick Edit, your wave will come up. That's with MIDI patches and phrases. So what you do on this little box, let me back up so you can see the options that I get. First one at the bottom to the left says Sample List. Second one says Sample Edit. Third one is Length Lock. The fourth one is Chop, and the fourth one is well, not no, I don't know. The fourth one is Chop, and the fifth one is Command. So what we want to do is do Chop. So I'm gonna use the cursor, go to Chop, and what I usually do, I just do Auto Chop. Because usually it catches it. I usually leave the level on 6 depending on what I'm trying to chop, and I'll hit Execute, and I can see right now that it kind of made my kick kind of short. Alright, so we got that snare, that clap was right, that shaker's okay, that's cool, you know, but I gotta fix that first pad. So what I'll do, I'll clear this point. I'll select the point that I want and clear it. Alright, I got my kit. So what I want to do, I'll say assign it to patch. And what I'll do, I'll put it under, like, I'll put it on part 6 because I already got some stuff loaded up in here. So I'll put it on part 6. It'll take up pads 1 to 5, and then boom, you got your you know, you got your drum kit on an actual MIDI track or whatever, or a MIDI patch or whatever you want to call it. You get the idea. But I got it on 6, so if I hit the pads, now what I can do, if I want to go into each one of these, alright, I'm going to MIDI track 1 now. I'm selecting it, and what I'll do, I'll edit, I'll set my MIDI 1, well, the name MIDI 1, I'll set that to just an internal sound, which is that kit I just put on 6. And what I'll do, I'll hit the kick, and then do quick edit. With that here, you can tweak it. You know, when you do quick edit, it'll allow you to switch the pitch on it. Oh, I kind of like that with it. I got to pitch down like -7. That's kind of hot right there. I play around, like, you know, just to hit the sounds, but if you hit the pads, it automatically switches the settings to whatever pad you have. If you got the VGA, it'll tell you pad 1, well, you know, set 1, pad 2, or whatever. It'll give you the note 2, whatever it's assigned to. But that snare, I might want to tweak it a little bit more. Pitch it up a little bit. Get a crazy sound, I might slow it down too. See how that sounds. That don't sound bad. That clap, pitch it down. Pitch it down slows it down, but I think I'm gonna leave that the way it was. I'll leave that shaker and the way it is, or whatever. But that's gonna be my kit that I use. So that's all for making the kit. All that just for making a kit. You can make it a lot easier, but I just figure I just take y'all through some of the processes that I go through. I don't do this every time though. Usually when I'm dancing from the machine, it only takes a minute. And honestly, once you just saw what I just did, once you do it a couple times, it'll only take you a minute to do it. Now, you know, it's time to get into making a track. Alright, I'm gonna, you know, right now I'm just gonna do something in linear mode. I'm not gonna do anything in pattern mode. You can do it in pattern mode, but right now I think I'm just gonna, you know, I think I want to sample something, which a lot of people want to say, oh, how do you sample something? You know, people don't, you know, get ideas and stuff like that. So I'm gonna get into that right now. You can sample on the MV. You can sample from a turntable, you know, or you can sample from directly on the MV's CD-ROM drive, which I got too much light in here, so you're not gonna see that. But you can use whatever you want. I think what I'll use today, I think I'll pull out a record. Be right back. Let me go run and grab a record or something. Alright, y'all. Yeah, I'm back. Had to go run to get a record. So if y'all want to see what I got going on here, turntable right here. This is like the cheapest Numark joint you got, but I ain't scratching. I just want something to play the sound. So, you know, this joint, you get this in the store for between 50 and 80 bucks, depending on who you go shop at. And, you know, you pay 80 if they trying to gag you, but you generally can get it for about 50 bucks. So below that, you know, that little red thing right there, I got my that's what you call a I don't even know, it's a preamp. And what I have my Numark running into my Phantom XR, you know, which I use all my filters and everything on that when I go from a record, because the MV, even though it's cool, you know, some of the MFX processors that are in the Mv-8000 are in the Phantom XR, but the Phantom XR has 3 MFX processors, so I can daisy chain them together to get one nice crazy effect if I want to. And the filter on the Phantom XR is about 100 times better than the MV, but I use the MV for certain things too. It all depends on what I'm trying to do. So anyway, you know, I got a record up on there now. What I'm gonna use is you know, I'm from Philly, so I had to grab you know, this right here, you know, Rocky, you know, I'm gonna sample something with that. So this is just for you know, educational purposes, trying to show y'all something, you know, how, you know, you can do basic things or whatever, just to you know, get everything working for you. Alright, so pretty much, you know, now I want to find a sample that I want to work with. Usually I just randomly pick songs, but I don't even know what this is, but I don't even know the name of the track, but it's the second, I think it's like the second one that's on that Rocky album or whatever. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to sample a portion of this into the MV. I might even sample the whole thing. I got 512 meg, so sometimes I just let it ride just so I can get an idea or something. I might chop it or, you know, whatever I do. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to arm the MV to record, you know, sample directly in. But on here, I automatically always do the auto normalize. And what I'm gonna do on my my other stuff, I'm gonna just take the filters off because I just wanted to come in clean. Let's see, and set this on the through. Alright, so I'm good with that. And I get all the nice, clean, snap, crack on pop and everything. You can get rid of that if you want, but I generally like keeping it. Alright, I think I'm gonna use that part. Hey, matter of fact, do this sound familiar, y'all? That sound like wait a minute, did I skip it? Nah, I skipped it. Right here. That's, yeah. Biggie. What they call it? Victory? Yeah. I love this track that Puffy did. Man. It's just so crazy. But anyway, back to what we was doing. Alright, I think I'm cut that off. I'm gonna arm the MV. I'm gonna sample this in. Not that I would use this whole thing, but I like getting it into the MV so I can always pick and choose what I want to use. And I might just chop the whole, truncate this whole front part off. But there is a part in here that I do like. Sometimes what I do, I speed it up, I slow it down, so it all comes together faster, you know. Which y'all probably do. Well, I might just start from this part right here, but it sound kinda, yeah. I like that. Like the motion that's behind this is kinda crazy. And what I do sometimes, I hit on the pads on the MV. You know, right now I got the MV sampling, but you still can hit the pads just to get an idea if the sounds are going to mesh together. You can play along with it if you want, you know, just to get an idea of where you want to go. It won't affect, unless you're resampling, it won't affect what's coming in that you're recording. So, you know, sometimes I just hit the pads just to play along with it. But it's too slow, so I know I'm definitely going to have to speed it up.
Yeah, I definitely could use this. I'm gonna do something crazy. Alright, that's over. And that's when the victory John come on. That's kind of nuts. But alright, I'm just gonna use that part. So I'm gonna stop my sampling. It's gonna be a big ass WAV file. So if you don't have 512, time to upgrade. You know, because having a lot of sampling memory, especially if you like sampling at times, comes in handy. I mean, I'm not real big on sampling, but I do tend to do it a lot, you know. And I mean, if you're in a hip hop, whatever, everybody tends to sample. I don't care if you say you don't sample, you took a sample from somewhere, so it's a sample. But I'm just gonna do this for the sake of everybody that likes sampling other people's stuff, because I don't know, that's what's popular now. So I went ahead and I'm gonna try to draw out pretty much a waveform. You know, you can wait for it to finish, but what I usually do, I just assign it to a pad and then take regions. Like, you know, I might just take this and bring it down. I'll get a loop somewhere in here. I don't think I want to mess with that part. Like, I can mess with that part. Let's see. Get that first note. Yep, that's what I want right there. So this takes up a lot of memory, so I'll show you what I do to compensate for this. Like the BPM bass note, I usually don't worry about that. I just play by ear just to see here what parts I want. So I get it sized down right, then I copy it to a pad. Get that to about 16. Just so we can see the waveform better. You can adjust it a little bit. Alright. Alright, so that's that loop, but I ain't got it perfect. But who cares? I don't. Alright, might want to move this back some. You can trim it a little bit. Alright, that's enough. I ain't really messing with it no more. But what I'll do, I'll quick assign that to a pad, assign the freeze. So okay, that's assigned to a freeze. Now, there's different things that I do. Sometimes if I like the loop, I'll just bounce it in on the audio track, which whatever. I forgot what pad I put that on. I'll put it up there. Okay. Sometimes I automatically just try to put it into an audio phrase if I want to like play along with it or something, but I'm kind of debating what I want to do with it right now. In here, I'll use it as a phrase, and what I'll do, I'll put the BPM sync on, and I can pitch it up in here if I want, you know. But when you got it on the stretch, it don't sound great. So let's say if I take the BPM sync off, that's not even the whole phrase, but you know, sometimes I get ideas in the middle of it where I'm just and you just bring the drums in after that like crazy. But you know, you get ideas when you're in the middle of your musical moment. But you know, for now I'm just going to keep the pitch the way it is. And like this phrase BPM is saying it's 73, which is possibly that was the exact sample, but you know, it's not. Right now I got my this track set to 67, so I'm gonna bump that up to like, I don't know, 88. I'll do 88 now. Not that I do things at 88, but just so that sample won't drag. If anything, it'll go faster. So I got the BPM sync on. Alright. This is gonna be fun. Trying to get this exact is going to be an adventure. That's what computers are good for. MV has a, you know, does a pretty good job, but you know, you got to play with it. Anyway, let me move this up a little bit, see if I can catch this exact. That's good enough. So I'm gonna feed that phrase and I'm gonna step mode it in. And what I'll do, I'll select that's in there now. So if I were to hit play, to. But I don't like it that fast. Go back to 88. And I mean, usually when I get to that point, I might try to add some drums in. I don't even know what I want to do with this. I got another idea for this track. Alright, what I'm going to do, I'm going to chop that first part of that loop. And the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to quick edit. And what I'll do, I'll go to where it says chop. And I'll just tell it to auto chop. I'll do level 6. I'll tell it to execute. And most of the time it gets it right. But sometimes it doesn't. So I'm going to drop it down to like 3. That's too sensitive, so bump it up to 5. That's all I want for that first pass, so see if I can kind of, on the second pad I just want to kind of like I just want dum dum in the second pad. That's all I want. So, you know, I got them kind of in the area that I want. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to assign them to a patch. I'll put them on, you know, you can assign it to the patch where you put your drums if you want. If you just want to use that MVO file as one song or whatever. You know, all the tools that you use for that one song, you can do that. But what I'll do, I'll put them on 7. It's only 4 chops, but it's on there. It's on 7. And what you can do, I mean, I know where I got my stuff at, but, you know, if you're not familiar, go in there and name it, you know, so you don't accidentally write over it. And what you can do, you go to patch edit, click on the little thing down here, do the patch name. I'll just call it ROCKY. So that you know when you go into here, that's your chops, you know. Alright, so what I'll do, I'm gonna name a track on here Rocky or something like that, because I can't spell. CKY. Okay, so that first one is named Rocky. The second one is going to be the drums. Actually, you know what? Can't do that. I renamed the audio track, so I'm going to rename a MIDI track Rocky. Track name, history, Rocky. Switch that to 7. I mean, when you got it on the pad, on a patch, you can kind of play it out the way you want. But I still gotta tweak this a little bit. Edit this sample a little bit. I'm gonna have to zoom in because this is a little tiny portion of what I'm actually working with. But I'm gonna zoom way into this. And you know what? Like, I got this big, huge wave file, and I just took that one little part. Like, on any time that you're working with them, working with different wave files, what I say do, once you get everything that you want to work with, truncate it. Like right now, I'm about to pick what I want, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna truncate, you know, just so I have a small patch if I want to save this. Now, I'm gonna tweak this a little bit so I can get this exactly the way I want. I just want that so get the intel end of this off. I want the second pad to, I'm on the second pad now, so I just want the second pad to get that, you know. This first pad. I'm gonna have to adjust that a little bit, second pad. Back a little bit. Alright, so I got my first and second pads the way I want them. So what I think I might do is play with the pitch on this. But usually when it, you know, there's no BPM sync with this, so this is where your tap tempo kind of comes into it, and you got to kind of use your gut instinct, which you'll develop. But like you got, let me back this camera so y'all can see what I'm doing. Alright, it's time for me to play with this sample a little bit. Alright, so what I'm gonna do, kinda like play it out like, now if I had tap tempo, like it automatically, like I'm keeping my beats the way I want it, so I know how I want to play. I'm gonna do dun 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 dun, and you know that's how it's gonna play. So I mean, you can let it flow, but a lot of times when you get stuff off records, they didn't play it exactly at the BPM. It's kind of like freely done, so you want to get it the way you want, the way you want to do it. So right now it says I did tap tempo and did 93.89, so I'm gonna leave it at that. That's gonna give me a rough area of where I want to be. So I'm gonna get that off. So now my tempo on it in here is 93.89. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna record this. all on that because I got this going. And I don't like the way it sounds. So I think I want to let this run, so I'll adjust the amplifier, bring it up. Alright, I gotta adjust the amplifier on this. See how they kind of strung together. I mean, I'm in a MIDI patch, but I'm kind of turning them on and off right now. Let me get back to the screen so I can show y'all what I'm doing. Let me zoom in here just so y'all kind of get a rough idea. Alright, trying to show y'all as much as I can. Now, what you're seeing right now on the screen is the partial edit for that first sound on that first pad of that Rocky patch. So, you know, you got your filter, you can put a filter on it if you want. Let's do band pass or low pass. That's what a low pass filter. That's what a high pass filter. You can adjust how much you want to get through. Some people ask me, like, how do I get it to sustain or whatever. Like, I let go of the pad and they want to know how you get the hang like that. I mean, you go to amplifier and then you adjust the R, you know. Like, if you just hit the pad, it'll only play the whole thing if you hold it down. What I do, I usually, depending on what type of track, what type of mode I'm in, I go ahead and let it play the whole thing. Like, I'm really drawing this out like super long for y'all, but I'm just doing it for people that don't understand on how to get it right. Or this might give somebody else an idea on how to do something. So, you know, I'm making this long. It's going to be a big, super crazy MPEG file when I finish with it, or a WMV. I'll figure something out, but you know, that first pad got that on it, second pad's got that on it, and if you hit the pads, it changes the screen to what pad it is. But you know, I wanted to right now it's set up with poly. Like, you can have multiple sounds. Like, if I want that second pad to turn off that first one, what you gotta do is go to exit out of that, and you want to go to where it says solo and portamento, and then you want to change mono mode on, and then check this out. It's like, you can do this all day and play it, you know, like it turns it off. So once you get an idea where you want to, you know, play it the way you want to play it, you'll get it right. But this helps when you're trying to get the BPM, because we're not syncing anything, we're just kind of playing it right out. And the only thing I did do was turn the pitch up on both of those particular waves. I did +3 on both of them. Settings, but here we go. Let's rock. Let's get into making this track. too fast, I already see, so. Alright, here we go. Because I almost got it where I want it, but it's not there yet, so speed this up a little bit. And what I think I might do is edit that first patch again. Instead of like stop and roll abruptly like that, I might just want to let a little bit more of that wave go. That's why I don't truncate before you're sure what you want to do, because you can go right back into the sample edit. Zoom in, of course. That seems pretty good. Get rid of that. Alright, y'all, yeah, nice feature about the MV is this resampling feature. And this comes in handy because if you chop something up and you want to get it back the way you want it, you know, you want to get it to a point where you can stretch it and stuff like that, you can resample it and then beat sync it. By doing that, what I mean is, give you an example, this right here. And then the second part of that is, alright, now, like, it's not smooth, so I would have to trigger it. So what I would do, I would go into sampling, go to resampling, that will allow you to resample whatever you're playing. So like in here, I mean, I can just start the trigger at pad, and then I can tell it to stop manually. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start, and then it'll say waiting on pad to start, so y'all can see that. I'll zoom in a little bit. Waiting on pad to start. So I'm gonna play that chop the way I want, you know, but I'm gonna make it sync the way I want. So I'll do. messed up the second time, but I just got it the first time right. So anyway, it's gonna be like 8 beats. I don't know, I forget what I just did, but you can kind of see the wave the way you want it. So I'm gonna preview it, and I had the volume up way too loud. All right, here we go. Truncate this one because I don't need the extra stuff. So we can do a quick assign to phrase. I'll put that on the 5th pad, so I execute. So if I go to audio phrase, alright, so I'm gonna loop that. BPM. Alright, yep, I'm gonna loop that. So I'm gonna step that in. It's in there. So I'm gonna loop that, whatever. Put some drums to it. Turn it down so I get the volumes right. You know, so like the loop don't drain out my drums. Alright, just trying to get an idea of what I want to do with this. Alright. Put this back to y'all. And that kit that I made, like it doesn't play out the whole wave. Like if I hit it, just you can tweak that too, so that you can get to play out the whole wave. You just adjust the amplification on that to get that whole sound. It makes the whole track sound different once you tweak it the way you want. Let's see. Yeah. And just to keep it basic, like, let me mute this. You might like the drums. You might want that part right there to be like your hook or whatever. So, you know, just like what people do, some people just mute the, they just filter the rest of it. So I'm going to do some filtering on the MV. I'm going to go to the effects section. I'm going to go to master right now. I'm going to change it to, let me get out of here. Click on this. I'm going to go to where it says isolator and filter. And I got it on the master. I muted the other sound so I can just get that wave playing. But if you take the low off, you get all the bass going. Same thing if you take the highs out. If you edit it, you boost the bass. Frequency of what's getting through. Get rid of the pianos. Nothing's perfect. You eliminate stuff, so you just gotta go by ear. You want to boost it. But I mean, you can kind of get an idea where you want to be in your song by just unmuting let me switch this to an audio input. I do this just to test things on and off, but what I'll do, I'll send that audio channel to auxiliary, and just so it doesn't affect my my drums. Like, you kind of get an idea where you want to go with the song, then you can switch back. Alright, so you kind of got a rough idea what you want to do with it, if that's what you want to do. I don't know, I guess that's what I want to do right now. So, what I normally do, I go up here and I resample it. Or I ask you what you want to resample the mix. Leave the effect on the on your audio file, but you're probably going to mute your drums just so that you can just get that audio file with just the bass. Alright, so I got that. So if I mute this, I just got that mix file. I got the bass on a different audio track. And then what you can do, you know, if you want to actually, like, I got that one file on the auxiliary, that the effects are on the auxiliary. So if I switch that back to mix, I got my regular sound, you know. Drums in play. on there. Then you can just bring it back. Then you can bring it back. Just to keep it simple, you know, that's how you can do it. Now, I do have a Phantom, so I might want to experiment and throw some of them sounds in there. You know, so what I'll do, I'll just adjust it to whatever I got in my Phantom, to like, I don't know, my MIDI channel 1. I don't know what I got on. I don't know what the hell I got in my Phantom. But on part 1, let's see, some kind of organ. Alright, I don't like that sound, so I don't even know what sound like this. Alright, so I might like that sound or whatever. Jazz guitar, no. That's crazy. I think I might use that. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll use that. Not that I like it or anything, but just do something. Keeping it real simple, you know. I mean, I can switch this down if I want to. Turn the volume up on that guitar. And what I'll do, go back to that, I forget which one. Let's see. put a crazy sound in here just to make it different. Actually, got some strings. Bass a little bit. See if I want to add a snare now. Now, I'm going to add another, I got another patch in here, but I'm using some sound on there. Escape out of there. Just run that for 2 bars. Take the velocity off so it sounds more not as hard. Just your quantize so everything meshes okay. Alright, I gotta get a sound in here from a thing that I like. I'm gonna mute it, solo everything else out, give me a sound I like. see if we can turn that down a little bit. Alright, just for example's sake, I'm done.